Good evening, folkies. I got four for you tonight, four new ones actually, all written in the past week or so. And the first one's called Argue. Yeah, probably all been there, yeah. I don't want to argue anymore. I'm sure you don't either. This pointless back and forth, no more. It doesn't get you anywhere, except for pain. And the case for no pain, no gain ends here. Let's be clear. I don't want to make up with you, because that means we've broken down somewhere, and I've had enough of breaking down. Every opposite opinion shouldn't end up in grief. My belief is we should be bigger than this, getting to grips with our opposites. The girl walks by. Her bag says, "I know my onions." An Asian girl with hair tied back, stumbling on the cobbles. You dig me in the ribs and accuse me of looking at her. Of course I looked at her. She was only 10 feet in front of me, as was the two drunken guys, one with a star tattoo in his neck, nicking a can of cheap beer. His drinking buddy, wearing a grubby pair of leisure trousers, held a bottle in his hand. So I looked at them too, not to the detriment of you. "Oh yeah," she said. "What colour are my shoes? Don't look." I hesitated. "Green," I said, with the tone of a lucky guess. And the look given spoke more than words could say, made me look away and think we should both pull back from the brink, from the abyss we are sinking into, tumbling, mumbling under our breaths, head first downwards. I love you, and you love me. Both is how we want to be, to stay as one, not separate, alone. We are opposites. That's how we are. Counterbalancing each other in our daily lives, but this strife shows we need to draw a line in time, make a space in our space to replace this noise of difference, not with silence, but with the realization that we aren't strangers, but partners with different views. So choose to have no more back and forth pointlessly. This next one, there's been a lot of causes, a lot of publicity, a lot of news of people having mental problems, mental health problems. Apparently there's about 40% of the Scottish population suffers from some sort of mental anguish, mental issue. And this one's about that. It's called "You Thought You Knew." You told me you were aware of all the dark corners, but I saw you lurking, skulking in the undergrowth, thinking that no one knew where you were. But sometimes there are sunny spots for shady people, people whose only purpose it seems is to cast shadows. But stop. What day is this? Wednesday, you say? It is but just another day. Another day for hiding away, escaping those that wish you ill, and yet, still, you make out that all is well. But how deep is that well in which you hide? Inside or outside, it matters not. You can't recant the clouds, nor hide in shrouds, pretend unbowed, silent or aloud, when friends and friends of friends know all is not well. Pray tell, when did you last reach out? No, don't ever be afraid to ask. If not that person, then another. The world isn't full of the selfish and the arrogant, although it may seem it is. Never let haters get their way, or they will try and have their say, saying this, saying that, making you energetically compromised, feeling beat to death. And death is never far away, but we don't know how. We don't know where or when, or even how, or even why. Alone or with a friend, one who's stuck until the bitter end. But far is just a concept, as is time. And when your time is up, when your time has come, when the reaper reaps, the time for endless sleep, let it be at least in peace. So within the time that we have left, please stop feeling bereft. That is what the bullies want, to taunt you to an early grave. Just look them in the eye, ignore them, and walk on by. And know that you have friends out there. We are the ones that care. And this one is called Exhausted by Strength. Don't be afraid of anything. Try new things. I wouldn't stand on a thin ledge, so high above the ground. Not afraid to do it. Just have no interest in doing it. Not afraid. I don't want to jump out of a plane using a parachute just because my dad did it. Not afraid. Just not interested. But if there's something new to challenge me, something interesting, I would maybe try. But I have to be interested. Not afraid. Being brave is not of interest. Being not afraid is the challenge. Don't call me strong, that is so wrong. Don't call me brave either. I am not strong, I am just me trying to be the best I can be. Not striving for perfection or a reflection of what is expected of me. And if you don't like what you see, don't blame me. Blame your own hypocrisy. It can be tiring to try to live up to the expectations that you give, and I won't be so glib to go along with that. Instead, I will be not afraid. One more, and I wrote this one on Monday, actually, for an online event that was coming from Swansea, and it was called Poets Go Riot, Poets Riot or something. It was a political thing all about rioting and remembering the Peterloo massacres and others. Right. This one's called Girl Missing. I knew a girl. This girl I knew always looked up, never looked down, kept her eye on the horizon, looking around, plenty injustices to be found. Took up a pen instead of a sword. Writing poetry is never absurd. Walked to the beach, walked along the shore, walked to the park, walked on some more. Walked with some friends, walked round the bend, walked into a roadblock, set up by the cops, tried to stop them walking, kettled them well, then wondered why the girl started shouting, creating merry hell. All she wanted was to see justice for all, the right to be walking, the right to stay alive, the right for equality, the right to survive. The girl has a placard, along with her friends. The law called them weapons, the right to apprehend. Scuffles then broke out as they tried to protest, putting their patience right to the test. No stone were thrown, no one attacked, and yet the coppers kept pushing them back, back, back and backwards with nowhere to go. Brutal force used, extreme and unneeded, stumbling and falling, head busting, bleeding, crying and shouting, "Leave us alone! Fascists, go home!" Harder and harder we resist, tumbling, stumbling, crumbling, pushing, pushing. Stop! If we ever get out of here, we will come back stronger. Fight for longer. Fight, fight, fight. Thank you. And that's all from me from this week. But if you're free on Sunday night, come along to our old favourite, the Blue Lamp. There's a poetry open mic going on there. You don't have to go up on stage, just sit and watch. And then next Thursday at Books and Beans, I've got a feature spot there along with wonderful Mandy MacDonald. That's at 7 o'clock. Both gigs are at 7 o'clock, by the way. Blue Lampy, Books and Beans. Thank you.